What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for joining me today on the meditation channel. So I thought I would take a moment, sit down with you and have a chat, have a conversation. There's something going on at the moment that I think it's a topic that is very relevant to this time, not just this time, but personally, it's something also that I can relate to very much. And obviously, we all have heard of the trend of no contact. And I wanted to put my 2 cents in that, and essentially coming from a person who has essentially cut down my relationship with my family. And obviously putting the spiritual twist onto it, because this is the meditation channel. I try to always learn and grow and understand things from a higher place if possible. And have this conversation with you guys. I know this is a very, very triggering topic for either the children or the parents. So I want you to understand that I hear you, I understand you. Please be kind in the comment section. You can come at me if you want to. I'm used to that. That's what happens when you're on social media. But be kind to each other if anybody's saying anything negative towards one another. At the end of the day, the whole issue here at the end of the day is that there is lack of communication from either side. Could be. I want to start off also by saying that I don't think that every case can be put in a category. I don't personally believe that this is a trend. I know Oprah had a podcast recently and I actually watched it, and I actually thought it was pretty good. Although some of you guys are coming at her. Jeez Louise. I feel like at some point when you become that famous, you're just like, everything is your fault. It's like, she's human too, guys. She's going to make mistakes. Whatever. Anyway. But I was glad because, hate her or like her, she actually brought this topic up, and she actually had the balls to have this conversation. And she always, to me, from what I can see, she's always pretty fair in the sense of she'll take people from all walks of life, try to get everybody to tell their story so somebody can relate to somebody there. So one of the things that I'm noticing, that obviously one of the things that triggers a lot of people is the word trend. Because first and foremost, when we say the word trend, it demands, it's kind of like from the children's point of view, or the parents, because some parents also shut down their kids and walk away from them. But the word trend essentially demands what really is going on, which is extreme trauma. And obviously for the person who is decided to go no contact, it's like being abused all over again, essentially. It's like re-experiencing that invalidation, that sense of like you're just being dramatic, you're, whatever the thing that they've heard from other people or their own family, and it's just like another slap to the face, basically. So for those of you who get triggered by that, don't allow these words to affect you. I know it's easier said than done, but it is a clickbait, of course, and like anything, once there is a wave, it gets a name, and unfortunately this is the title of it. But try your best not to take it personal. And I think the only thing that you can do at this time is to hopefully tell your story if you feel safe enough, but understand that you're not alone. So what I would change the word trend to is I would essentially shift it into an awakening. What I'm noticing energetically and what is happening, and I can also speak for myself, we all know that there is something called lineage, blood lineage, with your ancestors, with your family. Traumas, habits, patterns, cycles are passed down from generation to generation. And we've all heard the story, hurt people, healed people, healed people, heal people. And we've all heard the story that essentially you were the one who broke the family curse. You were the one who finally broke the cycle of abuse, of alcoholism, of poverty. And this is, to me, one of those awakenings where so many people are waking up and understanding that there is a pattern, there's a cycle, and many of us are choosing to break it. Once upon a time, we had to have our family to survive. We needed community to thrive. And if you were shunned out, your chances of survival weren't very high. And nowadays, people are creating families outside of their actual blood. Having said that, don't want to take away the fact that I still very much strongly believe, especially from a spiritual place, the importance of family, the importance of having that connection. And just as you receive the curses, if you like, from the family, you also receive their gifts, their blessings, their fortune. Now, I can only speak for what my experience has been with this, and I know why a lot of these people have chosen to completely cut contact. And I don't think, it's easy for people on the outside to say, well, it's your mother, it's your so-and-so, it's your cousin, it's whoever. But the truth of the matter is you weren't there, and I would encourage them first to really try and understand their choice. For myself personally, there is something that I have understood, the importance of trying to keep that connection to the family. And I think that the only reason why they should be completely cut off, for me, would be if there is obvious violence and, a really bad abuse. Having said that, emotional abuse can be incredibly traumatic. And people essentially are just fed up with it, to be quite honest, because people also are becoming more educated. They're understanding more about mental health, and they're realizing that, this is something that needs to stop. Now, for myself, what I have decided to do is, there was a time where I thought about cutting out my family. There was a time where I thought that this wasn't right for me. And the reason for that, it really comes down to that I just did not feel safe in my family. There was always issues, and there was always something for me, especially to do with my past, that I was not able to heal, that haunted me. And being around my family also brings literally the worst out of me. I am not who I normally am around my family because of all of these unhealed wounds and trauma. And it's ingrained so much in my subconscious that just being in their presence, just hearing their voice, it's so much work and effort to not be triggered and to not be overly emotional. It's exhausting. I had decided at some point to step back. And this is something that I would highly recommend to the people who are really want to still try to work things out with their family. Again, you do you, you know what's best for you. But I realized what I needed for a time. I have decided to step back. I have stepped back in the sense of I don't speak to them as much. I keep the minimum type of contact. And I don't try to have a conversation with them where I'm trying to fix the problem, change them, essentially. Because at some point we have to acknowledge that change is not going to happen from them. And a lot of the things that I have learned and taught is all about, really, if you want to change a relationship, the key ingredient is to change yourself, change your energy around that person, change your mindset about that person. Forgiveness, FYI, very important, should never ever be forced. I know there's a lot of spiritual guilt, religious guilt. It's your father, you should honor them, you should forgive them. You should not do anything that does not feel right to you, or if it's premature. When you forgive somebody when you're not ready, essentially you're abusing yourself, because you're doing the right thing for everybody else, and yet you're still suffering on the inside, pretending really that everything is fine, even though in your heart you haven't forgiven them. So it's a hard one. It would be great to get to the forgiveness. That is the ultimate goal, of course, when you can be around that person, they don't affect you anymore, you can be surrounded by them, and everything is great. Maybe not perfect, but nowhere near as bad or traumatic. That is where I want to get to. That is essentially my goal. And I think this is a very important goal, that it doesn't matter what they say, it doesn't matter what they do, I've got myself. I am my own parent. I love myself. I know exactly why I'm showing up. I know how to speak. I'm prepared. I'm grounded. And it's like no matter what they throw at me, I miss. It's got some kung fu skills right there. I know this is possible because I have done it before. However, I had to first step back, heal, and reset my nervous system. So what I'm trying to say here is that this has been the most powerful transformational healing tool. In the last 2 years, I have decided to really dedicate my life to heal my relationship with my family. Why? Because when I really think about it, in 150 years' time, when I have gone to the other side and I'm a spirit up on wherever it may be, and I'm looking down at my life, I know in my heart that having that anger and that resentment for something that happened to me when I was young, and obviously still now, but it's nowhere near as traumatic, even though there were some events, of course, but the real trauma happened in my childhood. I'm gonna look back and do I really want to be angry and frustrated and not try to have some level of love and connection with my family? So I started digging really deep. I started looking at what I can and cannot do, and without self-abusing myself, without tolerating, and obviously having strong boundaries. My camera died. I ran out of memory, so I'm back. So hopefully I can remember where I left it off. But essentially, what I realized is that essentially it was more important for me to find the healing. And it is a process. It is not something that is going to happen overnight. You got to understand that you have years and years and years and years of unhealed trauma, of, as people have been calling it, paper cuts that have been building up over time. And it takes time to heal all of that. My advice to everybody here is keep doing the learning, the growing, the healing of the self. But do not expect them to be understanding, to see you, to love you the way that you love them. It's a really hard one because, of course, as kids, or as parents, vice versa, of course, all we want is their love and approval. We want them to be proud of us. We want them to make us feel safe and protected and valued and all of the things that parents could be for a kid, and again, vice versa. But the truth of the matter is that we don't know what their relationship with their parents was and how traumatic and dramatic that was. And they have never had the tools, the knowledge, or the ability. Maybe they had the ability, but they chose not to, of course, most of them, to heal. And so when you don't heal, guess what happens? You keep on passing down the trauma. You just repeat. You are working on a subconscious programming. You're not aware of the damage that you're doing, which is why I'm hearing so many kids saying, it's like, you know, I sit down with them and I try to get them to see it, and then bam, they just fall back into the old pattern because they're not willing to do the work. So that's a hard one, right? It's like, well, isn't a relationship two people? Yes and no. Yes, of course, that would be the ultimate case, but not everybody's willing to do the work. Not everybody is emotionally intelligent enough. Not everybody is willing to change, especially the older generation. You guys don't like change. You're pretty stubborn. And essentially, the positive about our generation is that we are willing to change, and that we are a lot more flexible, and that we are willing to do the work. And so you cannot tell people what to do, but you can show them through your actions, through your healing, through your change, and hopefully become an inspiration to them. I have seen that with my own family. I have seen somebody in my family noticing the work that I've been doing and acknowledging it. And even though they might not do the work that I do, they have certainly built up a level of respect, and there's others who haven't. And that's okay. But it's so empowering for me to not be affected anywhere near as much as I was when I was younger. Not needing their approval, not needing their love, appreciating it, open arms for it, accepting it, but not needing it. Because I really understand first and foremost where they're coming from. Doesn't justify their behavior, by the way, but I understand. And when you understand, it helps you manage it. It helps you cope with it. So one of the things that I've been doing, one of the spiritual practices, since this is a meditation channel, and this has been a very powerful practice for me. I'm still working on this. I'm hoping that when I do see my family soon, I will be able to really embrace this. It has happened once where I subconsciously did this, and it was incredibly powerful. So I always have to prep myself before going to see my family. That is the number one thing. You got to prepare yourself emotionally and mentally. If you're in a bad space, if you're already triggered, already emotional, or something's going on in your life, I will not go and see them. I will not answer the phone. I will give it a day or two now. I will make sure that I'm in a space where I am strong and aware and healed as best as I can be. The next thing that I do is I essentially invite in the higher version of me to, it's going to sound really crazy, but this is really what I do. I visualize as if like there's the part of me that's already healed, because there is. If we're talking about, there's many parts of us. There's the part of us that already knows the answers, that is already healed by this trauma. It's within us. We just have to figure it out and find them. But we have access to that version of us. And so I consciously call that part of me into me. It's almost like me, Jacqueline, I step back and I let that higher version of me step forward. And I let her basically take over. So I literally feel like a surge of energy. I feel this aura amplified. It's almost like an armor or a shield, like they can do and say anything to me. And I already have the answers as to what my reply would be. The other thing as well is, by the way, rehearsing, because one thing that we know about family is they're very predictable. Very predictable, because everybody ends up in a pattern. You say this triggers me, I yell at you, you go here, you yell at me, I yell, and then I run away. Whatever the story is for you. And this actually happened with a family member who one day I knew that they were gonna have a fit. And it happened. But I had rehearsed in my head what I was going to say. And this was not about me being right. This was about me connecting and soothing them so that they wouldn't escalate. And all I did was say, I noticed that they started escalating, they started screaming or whatever, and I kept myself incredibly calm because I remembered I tapped into this energy, which is not allowed, it's not affecting me what they're doing. I'm more powerful. My energy is way more strong than theirs. And there's also a little bit of a level of detachment here. And that detachment actually allows me to have a lot more love and compassion, because I'm not coming from a place of, I need to protect myself, I need to be right. My ego essentially tones down because I'm acting out of the greater good for myself first and foremost, but for everybody involved as well. Always put yourself as priority when it comes to this, because you, being your own parent now, have to protect yourself first. And all I did was say to the person, I calm my energy. And you got to remember, energy has influence. I calm my energy. I waited for them to have their yelling. And I called their name and I basically said, I really love you and I'm sorry that you feel that way. And I came from a genuine part of me that was like full of love and compassion. This also was me breaking the pattern. There's always been a pattern between me and this person. And this time I broke the pattern. I didn't get angry. I didn't yell. I didn't respond with my usual response. I responded with unconditional love and kindness. Essentially, I became the parent. And I showed them what I would like to be given. And they broke down. They calmed down within 5 seconds, and all of that tension, all of that toxicity, all of that anger and that intensity just diminished. And there were people in the room who actually said to me, it's like, how did you do that? And I told them, I was like, I did the right thing. I can't remember what I said actually now that I think about it. Something like that though. So my point here is, guys, that you have a lot more power in changing this dynamic than you think you do. And I'm not taking away that for some of you, it is necessary to cut off ties. And I can tell you right now, when I did for a while, my nervous system was able to reset. It's kind of like I hate this term, but it's kind of like the boiling frog. You don't know what you don't know because you're so used to it, especially when it comes to family. You've been in this environment for so long that it becomes the norm. You might have been in fight or flight for so long that your nervous system is so shot that it has not taken a break, and that becomes your normal. So, if for those of you who really want to try and resolve this, I can only say that this has worked for me thus far. Step back for a time. Heal yourself. Reset your nervous system. Develop skills and tools that can help you whenever you do see them. Never see them when you're wounded, afraid, or in trouble. And I know for some of you, you don't have that luxury. I always tell my husband that if anything happens to me and I'm in a crisis, please do not put me anywhere near my family. I was like, that's the worst thing you can do because I'm vulnerable and I cannot protect myself. And again, some people don't mean bad. Some parents are not bad people. They're just unhealed people. They're just people who have not developed the skills, the understanding, the awareness of what they're doing. Having said this, it does not excuse their behavior. And having said this, there are some out there who are horrible people. So I don't want to take that away from some of you. But I can speak for myself. I know my family, they're not horrible people. They're just really wounded people who have no awareness, have not done the work. And of course, the young ones are the ones who suffer because of their ignorance. My favorite saying is, ignorance is bliss, but only for the one who's ignorant. So hopefully this doesn't trigger a whole bunch of people because I know it's a triggering topic. It is social media. It is what it is. But I hope that I've given you some kind of technique or some kind of information maybe that can help you a little bit. I'm still on this journey. I'm still growing, but I have continuously worked on this. And I do believe that the more you let go of the traumas and the imprint in your energy field from your family, the more you do the healing and you break the cycles, the more powerful you become and the more you can receive and give. But it's work. It's work and it's awareness. And sometimes that does require letting go of that anger and resentment, really seeing it for what it was and remembering, again, I know it's easier said than done. And this is what I tell myself every day. It's like, what happened in the past, I cannot change. What they did to me, I can't go back and fix that. But I can choose who I become from now on. I'm not going to be like them, where I'm going to be unaware of my wounds and hurt other people because I was hurt. I'm going to choose to heal myself so that I can heal others. Use this as a tool to empower you, to make you a better person, and to be an example to others. Alchemize this energy, this pain. It makes you a lot more powerful than you think. If your life was blissful and easy and you had no problems, you wouldn't be as powerful. You wouldn't grow. You wouldn't learn. So it's a blessing in disguise. Unfortunately, it's a very painful blessing in disguise. Oftentimes they are. So I hope you rise above it. I hope at some point you find the peace where you can be strong enough to maybe reconnect with your family and reestablish a new relationship with them where you feel safe and whole with or without them. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go because I got to go and do a live. By the way, just a quick reminder, guys, check out my book, I'll put it up here. The Book of Realms. I also do a lot of I do a lot of videos on talking about celebrities and archetypes within the book. So if you know any celebrities that you want me to do a realm reading on, leave a comment below and let me know. All right, guys, as always, have a magical day and take care. Bye-bye.